The trainer for the West team from the Seattle Supersonics, Mike Chemesky. The assistant coaches from the Dallas Mavericks, Del Harris, Sidney Moncrief, and Don Nelson Jr. The head coach making his second All-Star coaching appearance from the Dallas Mavericks, Don Nelson. Players from the Western Conference. Voted as a starter for his 9th consecutive All-Star team, unable to compete due to injury, the 7'1" center from the Los Angeles Lakers, Shaquille O'Neal. At 6'8" from the Los Angeles Clippers, first-time All-Star forward, Elton Brand. From the Dallas Mavericks, making his first All-Star appearance, a 6'3" guard, Steve Nash. Also from the Dallas Mavericks, 7-foot forward center and a first-time All-Star, Dirk Nowitzki. From the Minnesota Timberwolves, making his first All-Star game appearance, 6'7" guard forward, Wally Szczerbiak. From the Sacramento Kings, with his first All-Star selection, 6'7" forward, Peja Stojakovic. And a 6'4" guard from the Seattle Supersonics, Gary Payton. And now the starting 5. From the Minnesota Timberwolves, 6'11", 5-time NBA All-Star forward, Kevin Garnett. Seven-foot forward from the San Antonio Spurs with his 4th All-Star selection, Tim Duncan. At 6'10", from the Sacramento Kings, 4-time All-Star forward, Chris Webber. Making his first NBA All-Star appearance, 6'3" guard from the Houston Rockets, Steve Francis. And at 6'7", from the Los Angeles Lakers, 4-time NBA All-Star guard, Kobe Bryant. Eastern Conference All-Stars. The trainer from your Philadelphia 76ers, Lenny Currier. The assistant coaches from the New Jersey Nets, Lawrence Frank, Eddie Jordan, and Michael Korn. Head coach named as the coach for the first time, also from the New Jersey Nets, Byron Scott. All-Stars. At 6'9", his first All-Star appearance at forward from the Atlanta Hawks, Sharif Abdur-Rahim. At 6'6", also making his first All-Star appearance at guard from the Boston Celtics, Paul Pierce. 6'3" guard from the Charlotte Hornets, first-time All-Star, Baron Davis. From the Indiana Pacers at 6'11", first-time NBA All-Star center, Jermaine O'Neal. Alonzo Mourning. From the Milwaukee Bucks, a 6'5" guard, Ray Allen. And a 6'8" guard from the Orlando Magic, Tracy McGrady. Now the starting lineup. At 6'6", playing in his 13th All-Star game, a guard from the Washington Wizards, Michael Jordan. Making his second All-Star appearance, a 6'9" forward from the Boston Celtics, Antoine Walker. At 7'2", seven-time All-Star center from your Philadelphia 76ers, Dikembe Mutombo. At 6'4", five-time All-Star guard from the New Jersey Nets, Jason Kidd. And finally, his third consecutive All-Star selection, a 6-foot guard from your Philadelphia 76ers, Allen Iverson. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the NBA 2002 All-Stars. Here now to salute the United States with a passionate rendition of America the Beautiful, J Records recording artists Alicia Keys and Angie Stone.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, Alicia Keys and Angie Stone.
The tip-off is next. We will send you to Marv Albert, Bill Walton, and Steve Snapper Jones for the call right after these messages.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you. By GMC, from professional-grade people come professional-grade SUVs. And by Adidas, forever sport. As we welcome you back to the First Union Center in Philadelphia, we're closing in on the start of the 51st NBA All-Star Game, and the Stars are well aware of record-breaking possibilities.
13.5 is the record, so I'm going to try to break the half. For the half is 13. So I'm going to go for that first.
That would have been two damn good questions, man.
I'm going to go for that.
Maybe I can get you during the game and answer.
Okay. All right.
Yes, Jason Kidd knows his stats in a conversation earlier with our Peter Vesey. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with the two-time NBA All-Star Bill Walton, three-time ABA All-Star Steve Jones. And Bill, as we check out the makeup of the rosters of these two squads, it's quite apparent. You look at the East, and they are loaded in the backcourt.
Well, the East is stacked with the all-star type of players. First you have Jordan, then Iverson, Tracy McGrady, Ray Allen, then Paul Pierce. Then you've got the hub, the wheel, the guys like Baron Davis, the guys like Jason Kidd who will get it done. At the end of this day, one of these guys is going to walk off this court and say, today I am the greatest player in the entire world.
And in the West, Steve, a different situation. They are packed up front on that front line.
Yeah, and it's that big front line that got them that 20-point lead that they had last year going into the fourth quarter. They didn't have Shaquille O'Neal then. They don't have him now, but they got more size, mobility, and they got more scoring. And so, Bill, just to remind you, Dr. Ruth said size does count.
But Don Nelson has told us that they've worked very diligently over the last 72 hours in holding on to that 20-point fourth quarter lead.
Well, last season in Washington, the East came from behind to win in dramatic fashion, sparked by Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, plus the rebounding of Dikembe Mutombo. This is the 51st NBA All-Star Game. The East has won 32 times. The West on 18 occasions. The officials, Jess Kersey working his third All-Star Game, Bennett Salvatore in his second, and Derek Stafford in his first.
Look for a blistering pace right off the top, Marv. East needs to open this court up to try to negate the size advantage that the West does have. The high wire acrobatic show that these guys are known for will only be a result if they can control the tempo with the up and down game.
Well, I think the most important thing is for these guys to find a rhythm and a way to play, because you're seeing players that will either try to do too much or try to do too little, and that affects their performance early in the ball game.
All right, Steve Francis of the Houston Rockets controlling the opening tip. Steve was a question mark because of a migraine headache. That's a problem that he's had throughout the season. Here's Kobe Bryant trying to shake off Allen Iverson. Tim Duncan over Michael Jordan.
Tim Duncan, a former All-Star MVP. Very rare for a big man to get that MVP.
Jason Kidd of the New Jersey Nets, one of the early line leaders in the thoughts of people who will be voting for the MVP. Here's Antoine Walker putting a move on Kevin Garnett. Mutombo able to keep it alive. Dikembe Mutombo received an ovation just moments ago during the player introductions, as did Allen Iverson, who's able to feed it to his teammate, and Mutombo will go to the line.
I remember when we talked to Antoine Walker a couple of days ago, Antoine said, you know, I didn't get very many shots in the first game I played. I'm getting some shots up today. So however long the basket maker's out there today, you can look for Walker to be attacking. He could end up with a big afternoon.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that there's been this much passing in the first 45 seconds of the game.
Give it time, Bill. Antoine Walker, who grew up in Chicago as a Chicago Bulls fanatic, he was telling us this was before Michael came on the scene. He said he rooted for the Bulls of Orlando Woolridge, Reggie Theus, and Granville Waiters.
Well, one of the finest squads ever assembled. Was Dave Corzine on that list that you mentioned?
Yeah, he was one of Antoine's favorites.
That That's what's known as a real fan field.
And here's Kobe Bryant, rebounded by Dikembe Mutombo. Jason Kidd with the lead that is broken up. Iverson and Kidd open in the backcourt with Walker, Jordan, and Mutombo up front. Iverson not able to hit. Mutombo is there for the rebound.
Now, you know what's funny about this All-Star game is watching Michael Jordan get out of the way. Normally, they play to him, and he's trying to get out of the way on that last score for the East.
But Michael is matched up with Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett is 7 feet 1 inches tall. Michael's 6'6".
Francis sets it up with a crossover, and Kobe is able to hit off glass to tie the game at 4.
The funniest thing here is that the guys who normally take the ball out of bounds, the big guys at their main basket, as soon as the ball goes through the hoop, they're just running away from the ball, making the guard, Jason Kidd, come back and inbound it.
Jordan's pass intended for Kidd.
Remember the soundbite Kobe Bryant had last year when he said, everybody's afraid of Mount Mutombo. And Bryant right away going inside to challenge.
Kobe wide open. So the West with a 6-4 lead. Jason Kidd saying that he's well aware most assists for a half. 13 set by Magic Johnson. Antoine Walker was not kidding around. Excellent conversation as he knocks down a 3, and the East leads by 1.
Neither are the Celtics as a team in the regular season. Now that's a tough shot by Garnett. For Jordan in transition.
Iverson accelerates. And last touch by the West.
Dikembe is all over the offensive glass out there. Without Shaq, without the traditional appearance of a David Robinson, Vlade Divac was there last year. Karl Malone not in attendance because of illness in the family there. It's very easy for Dikembe to get to that offensive glass.
And Dikembe trying to show that outside touch. He had 22 rebounds last season.
There are no quarterback skills in that swimmer, Tim Duncan. I guarantee you. Garnett was so wide open. Marv, you could have hit him with that.
Well, let's not get crazy.
Thank you, Marv, for the rare moment of humility.
The East 7 and the West 6. Mutombo was trying to hand it off to Jordan. Kobe ahead of the field and broke it up. Last touch by Kidd. The West holds on.
I'm interested, Marv, to see just how much Jordan is going to come. Now, this is the guy that represents the responsibility to the fans and to delivering the big moments when everybody's watching. But they've got a really tough upcoming schedule, and he needs to be sharp.
Here's Kidd on the run. Walker returns to Jordan. Antoine Walker to Michael Jordan.
Well, that's one thing Walker can really do. See the floor and pass the ball, and that was right on the money.
Kevin Garnett comes right back, so the East with a 9-8 lead. Michael Jordan in his 13th All-Star game. He has been MVP on 3 occasions in '88 in Chicago. He is most valuable player, scoring 40 points. And Kevin Garnett will handle himself.
This guy is Kevin Garnett, the prototype player for the 21st century. He's so long, so big, and incredible skills for a man of that size.
Webber shoots the 3. Chris Webber from downtown in the West with an 11-9 lead. Chris Webber in the starting lineup for the injured Shaquille O'Neal. Here's Jordan. Duncan able to chase. But Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett on the same team, coming off the verbal warfare they had, both ejected earlier this week.
But you see that more often than not, the great competitive players. And Kevin Garnett is a type of player who wears his emotions on his sleeve. Now, you got the stoic Tim Duncan out there. These guys have a history of antagonism toward each other, and the referees in that game just let things get totally out of hand.
Kobe off to the hot start. He has 6 points. Walker from downtown. Antoine Walker, who averages 23 a game for the Boston Celtics. One of the surprises here at the All-Star break. Second in the East behind the Nets. What a play as Kobe sets it up for Duncan.
Yeah, there'll be no shying away from Mutombo this afternoon, and Bryant may be the guy that spearheads it.
Iverson wide open.
Too wide open. He hasn't been that wide open since he joined the NBA. Antoine Walker looks fabulous in all departments.
Oh, Weber with a beautiful pass to Kobe Bryant. So Kobe with 8 points.
Well, some great passing here. We have seen it early from the West guys, and they've given it to each other where they can finish easily, and the East is going to have to get with that program and stay off the jumper.
The perfect opportunity for the give and go.
Walker passes on the 3. Garnett behind the back with the handoff to Duncan.
Oh, Weber was wide open, and they didn't see him.
Now they do. Chris Weber providing a 7-point lead for the West squad.
The level of play has been absolutely superb. Much like the rookie game yesterday, everybody's sharp, razor, beautiful.
Well, guys are looking for each other, and you do not see that often at the start of All-Star games.
What's important is finding a way to share the basketball, and you see Antoine Walker sharing it to get Michael Jordan in the game for his first scoring opportunity. And watch the dance that Kobe Bryant does to free up Tim Duncan.
Our game in Philadelphia. I'm Jim Gray, joined by the second leading vote getter for the All-Star game, the center of the Los Angeles Lakers, 9-time All-Star Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq, this is the third All-Star game that you've had to miss. You're struggling with the big toe. You're going to be out 4 more games. How is the toe feeling? Is this going to be a chronic problem the rest of the year for you?
The toe is okay. It will probably be a chronic problem the rest of the season. However, I'm going to just suck it up and continue to play, continue to dominate. Kobe's out here dominating, playing good. Oh, nice move by Kobe. Oh, but okay. Anyway, I'm glad to be here. It's unfortunate that I'm not playing, but we have a lot of other talent, and hopefully it'll be a good show today.
Michael Jordan with a couple spectacular plays. Let me ask you, Shaq, is surgery the only thing that'll correct this, or is this going to be a chronic problem, and how are you going to mitigate that problem throughout the course of your career and the rest of the season?
Throughout the season, I'll just have to suck it up. Probably at the end of the season, surgery is an option. I'll probably take that option, and hopefully the pain will go away.
Shaq, let me ask you, there was an incident earlier in the season with the Chicago Bulls and Brad Miller. You've come back from that suspension. Are teams defending you differently now, and have you learned something from that incident?
There's a difference between defense, hard defense, and dirty play, and I will not tolerate dirty play.
Shaq, nice to see you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Nice to see you too, brother.
All right. Nice hat. Marv?
All right, thanks, Jim. Yes, Shaq looking very dapper, as Jim mentioned, the second leading vote getter behind Vince Carter, who also, unfortunately, sitting out sidelined by a strained left quadricep. The terrific passing continues. Allen Iverson with his first field goal, so the East has come from behind. They are now down 19-18, just under 4.5 remaining in this first quarter. Garnett on the putback. The West up now 21-18.
Why should Shaq have to be the one that moderates whether there's dirty play on the board? Aren't there 3 referees per game for that?
Well, they may have to add some more if you're doing that per game. Walker, who has been passing the ball really well, also shooting.
Oh, the lob thrown by Jordan just off the mark, intended for Walker. Francis to Weber, and a foul is called. I have a question for you, Bill, about Shaquille O'Neal, but we want to take a look at some of the theatrics from Michael Jordan.
He goes by Garnett, who's 7 feet plus. He goes over Duncan, and then Jordan, who's been using the left hand magnificently this evening.
Foul was called on Jordan, sending Weber to the line. We see Shaquille O'Neal on the sidelines. Of the original 24 players selected to play in tonight's All-Star game, only 3 are legitimate centers. Shaq out of the game, leaving 2, Dikembe Mutombo and Alonzo Mourning. Why has this position and big man low post play become such a lost art?
Coaching at all levels, starting very much on the way up and through all the different levels. And then you've got guys like Duncan, Chris Webber at the line, and particularly Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett is the 21st century version of Bob McAdoo. If he played center, yes, he would give up a lot of points, as McAdoo did to all the other top players, but he would get them back on the offensive end. I'd like to see Flip Saunders go with that lineup.
Our Gary Payton has checked in, as has Sharif Abdur-Rahim of the Atlanta Hawks, Alonzo Mourning of the Miami Heat. Allen Iverson able to sky for that rebound. Iverson putting between the legs as he tried to fake out Kobe Bryant, but a reach-in foul is called.
Hey, Bill, in order for Garnett to be Bob McAdoo, he has to have that shooting mentality that Bob McAdoo has. He will never do it. He will never do it.
Iverson gets the step on Payton, sets it up for Mourning, rejected by Duncan. Here comes Payton in the open floor for Weber. Blew the stuff, and Jordan ahead of the field. Jordan takes, he blew it. Whoa!
Oh, goodness gracious sakes alive.
Michael went back rim.
That's two blown back-to-back, Weber and Jordan, and Jordan was the easiest of the two.
Michael is feeling, he's blushing out there.
But you know what? I think that Michael Jordan is going to probably appreciate this All-Star game more than any other that he's ever played in. He's at a point in his career and in his life where this is really fun for him, and even the embarrassing moments.
I was privileged to be in the locker room with Michael before the game, and I asked him if it was as much fun as he would hoped it would be when he came back, because that's what he said he was coming back for. And he said that the winning is unbelievably fun, but the losses, because there are more of them now, that it's just very, very tough to deal with.
All right, Mourning committing the foul, putting Kobe at the line. You can log on to NBA.com following this All-Star game for a live chat with the All-Star game most valuable player. Plus, you can watch the post-game news conference and check out the top video highlights and photos of today's top plays. All at NBA.com. Ray Allen of the Milwaukee Bucks on the floor for the first time. Here is Mourning, Alonzo Mourning, who has made it back from a kidney disorder to reclaim his spot as an All-Star and is just so happy to be here.
And their team has come alive here, and Alonzo gave all the credit to the play of Rod Strickland, who over the last month has really played beautiful ball.
Gary Payton able to go last. Well, the Heat started at 5-23. They have won 13 of their last 19 games.
Well, you know, to Pat Riley's credit and to Alonzo Mourning, Riley said, you know, I'm using Alonzo Mourning as an example. Some nights he's stumbling around out there, but he's playing, and I can't give up.
3-on-1. Oh, serves up a facial on Ray Allen.
I don't know what Ray is thinking. Just head the other way.
Here's Jordan. And deflected out of bounds by the East.
And you're saying that that's not Bob McAdoo? That's not the next generation of Bob McAdoo?
He won't shoot it like Bob McAdoo wants to shoot it. He'll do that. But, you know, McAdoo, give it to me and let me go.
It's the West by 8. 2 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in this first quarter as the 51st NBA All-Star game continues.
Shot back in Philadelphia, coming up on Verizon Wireless at the half. We'll hear more from Elton John. He'll be performing live here at the First Union Center. And we'll look ahead to tonight's Olympic coverage from Salt Lake City, featuring one of the glamour events of the games, the men's downhill. That's all coming up on Verizon Wireless at the half. Right now, let's go back to a man who's always wired, Bill Walton, who's also with Marv.
He's a very funny guy, Marv. You know, what about Steve?
I'm never wired like that.
A downhill. That's sort of like what my life is like, Marv.
It's an 8-point Wesley. They have shot very well here at the start. Garnett rejected by Mourning. The West 12 for 23 from the field. The East just 8 for 22. Paul Pierce of the Boston Celtics has come on for the first time. Kevin Garnett continues to defend on Michael Jordan, who is directing traffic as he clears it out. Shot clock is down to 7. Here's Allen. Not able to hit the 3.
The West is playing a surprising level of intense defense.
Kobe Bryant is fouled. Kobe taking it to the rim. A fast start for Bryant. He has 10 points. Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Marv. I'm with number 6, Julius Erving, as Dave Zinkoff used to always announce to the crowd here in Philadelphia. His number retired. Julius, a wonderful gesture by Allen Iverson to wear the number that was retired by you, number 6, in this game today. What was your reaction to that?
I was quite pleased. I heard about it on Wednesday. Dave Koski from the Sixers front office called me, said Allen wants to wear my number. Before he even finished his sentence, I said, go for it. It'd be an honor to see him out there.
Now, Julius, you played this game up until you were 37 years of age. Michael will be 39 next week. You were played in 16 All-Star games, more than 30,000 points. What's your assessment of how he's doing at this age?
Mike's doing fine. You know, Mike is actually, he probably should be a candidate for MVP. He's shining like a star among stars. He's turned the team around. Hopefully he can sustain in the second half of the season.
Julie, it's great to see you back in Philadelphia.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Marv, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jim. Alonzo Mourning able to slam it home. The West with a 30-22 lead.
Kobe's putting on a show.
Well, he said he was going to enjoy himself. He enjoyed his own impromptu dance out there, dribbling between his legs, but he passed superbly here early in the first quarter of play.
Duncan tried to go backdoor, deflected out by the East. Substitutions. Tracy McGrady of the Orlando Magic has checked in, and a couple of Dallas Mavericks being inserted by Dallas head coach Don Nelson. Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki are coming on for the first time. Peja Stojakovic of the Sacramento Kings will inbounds. Been a nice weekend for Peja. Won the three-point shootout last night. Ray Allen not able to defend his crown. Here's Stojakovic for three. And back comes the East with 45 seconds to go in the quarter. Allen's pass through the hands of Abdur Rahim. Here's Mourning. Oh, Alonzo gets the roll. He's 3 for 4, 6 points.
And he told me beforehand he's just feeling so much better. A year ago, he wasn't even thinking about able to play basketball with a life-threatening kidney illness. Now he's out here dominating.
Nowitzki from deep. Dirk Nowitzki averaging 24 a game for the Dallas Mavericks. And Dirk, one of the keys to the 35-14 record, second best in the NBA by Dallas.
Now that guy can be Bob McAdoo.
2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Paul Pierce. I think he was not sure whether he was going to give it up or take the shot.
Steve, Bob had a lot better looking haircut.
Final seconds of the quarter. Good play by McGrady, getting a piece on it. 1 9/10 seconds to go in this first quarter.
They've conned Peja into taking the ball out of bounds here.
Knowing he will not get it back.
Never see it.
Duncan. After one here in Philadelphia. It's the West 32 and the East 24. Strong start for the young man from Lower Merion, Pennsylvania. Kobe Bryant leads the way with 12 points. The 51st NBA All-Star game will continue with the second quarter in just a moment. Next Sunday, it's the world's most important auto race, the Daytona 500, coming to NBC live at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Notice the little production effect. We have the cars going by.
Very nice.
Oh, yes. That's the Daytona 500 live next Sunday at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. on the West Coast. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Marv. I'm here with the defending champion of the Daytona 500, Michael Waltrip. Michael, how difficult is it to repeat and win at the Daytona 500?
Well, I've got a great race car. That's what it's all about, having a car capable of doing so. You know, I feel like I know what I'm doing, but my guys built me a great car. It's fast. We qualified in the top 10, so I think we can be a repeat champion of that great race.
Is it more difficult, do you think, to win an NBA championship, a Wimbledon championship, or the Daytona 500?
Well, anytime you're talking about competing at the very top of your sport, you know, that's certainly a tremendous accomplishment. To win the Daytona 500 was the greatest thing I'd ever done in my sporting career, and I just can't imagine how winning anything could be any more difficult than that was. But I'm real thankful that my Napa Auto Parts Chevy is going to be a part of the story this year again, Jim. We take the green next Sunday on NBC, and I can't wait to show up and fight those guys off again.
It'll be on at noon Eastern. All the best to you. Good luck, Mike. Drive safely.
I will, thanks.
From Michael Waltrip to another guy who races around this country pretty quick, Marv Albert.
All right, thanks, Jim. And Alonzo Mourning off to a very fast start. On the line looking for a three-point play. It's a 32-28 West lead. Opening minute, second quarter, setting the West squad. Steve Nash of the Mavericks on the floor in the backcourt with Gary Payton of the Sonics. Elton Brand of the LA Clippers in his first All-Star game. Up front with the Mavs, Dirk Nowitzki and Peja Stojakovic of the Kings. And Dirk with the touch. So the West leads by 5.
The West has been able to control the tempo. Their defense has been fantastic. McGrady answers with the three, but there's no open court flow for the Eastern Conference high wire acts to get going here.
Well, this is a unit that the East could catch up against. With they're a lot smaller than they were before, and so I think pace of the game is everything.
Here's Payton with the wide open shot. Elton Brand able to get to it. Elton was a late addition to the squad after the injury suffered by Shaquille O'Neal, and Stojakovic showing the kind of range and touch that he had last night in winning the three-point shootout. He's able to hit from downtown. Sharif Abdur-Rahim with his first bucket. The East Brooklyn three make it a one-point lead. Ray Allen off the steal.
Well, nobody's going to be left out of this one this afternoon. I mean, everybody is really energetic and jacked up to play in this game.
Elton Brand, the second most famous Elton in attendance today after John.
They were working on that line for a while. Payton not able to hit.
Yeah.
Brand is right there.
Elton Brand,
very good though.
The first Clipper All-Star since 1994 when Danny Manning represented Los Angeles.
At first, Elton Brand was asked, was he disappointed that he was not named to the reserve squad when that was announced as Tracy McGrady is able to hit the West up by one. He said, nah, you know, it's okay. I can spend the weekend with my wife and kids. And then he said, wait a moment, I don't have a wife and kids. Stojakovic again. And the West is up by 3.
He was either in the future or the past.
Yes. Back comes Brand. This now taking on more of a all-star game, a typical all-star game look after the nifty passing at the start, and a foul is called. Let's go over to Jim Gray with Michael Jordan.
All right, thank you very much, Marv. Well, I guess you're human after all, huh?
You know, it's one of those situations where, you know, you want to do something spectacular, but then you don't know what you can do. You don't want to hurt yourself. A lot of things go through your mind, and next thing you know, you missed the dunk. But you know, I got one in the first few minutes, and that, I think people know I can dunk. So I don't think I have to prove too many people.
I don't think there's any question about that. Jess Kersey said you didn't turn around. He was going to give you a mulligan.
I know he told me that. I would have turned around if I knew that, but I didn't think about that.
Michael, are you having as much fun as you thought you would have when you attempted and started to decide to come back? You said you wanted to have fun and teach the young guys. Has it been what you thought?
I'm having more fun, you know, and more fun. And I think that, you know, the teachings that I thought about doing, the guys are starting to pick it up, and it's turning into win, or just turning into a better attitude in Washington, and that means a lot.
Is the focus now changing from having fun and teaching the guys to trying to win a championship?
Winning a championship is a far goal, but I think we're just trying to get to the playoffs. That's our still short-term goal, but we're getting closer to that. Now, I imagine we're going to have to extend our goals a little bit when we get to that point.
Michael, you've proved everybody wrong, and I know this would be difficult for you to assess, but people are talking MVP. What's your reaction to that?
That's not my initiative. I didn't come back for that. I came back to teach and educate, but I think obviously when you do something very successful, that piques someone's interest. And you know, I don't control those things, but that doesn't motivate me when I play the game of basketball. I play the game of basketball because I love it. And you know, the MVP stuff, that's for everybody else.
Oh my goodness. What'd you think of that one there, Tracy McGrady?
You are talking to me and I'm missing the game.
Michael, thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing you in a second.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, Marv.
All right, Jim, as Payton puts one down from three-point range. Jim, I believe, was dismissed. What a remarkable run, though, it has been for the Wizards. 26 and 21 at the break. They've won 5 in a row. A team that won 19 games last year. Here's Jermaine O'Neal of the Indiana Pacers, who just checked in. And what a great job by the guy who was sitting here last year at this table, Doug Collins. Among the candidates for Coach of the Year, along with Byron Scott, who's coaching the East squad.
Oh, give it to
Pierce with a beautiful look-away move, and the West now leads by 4.
Put it up off the board. Let Tracy throw it up. I think Michael Jordan is the MVP at this point, and Doug Collins right up there with Byron Scott as Coach of the Year.
You like Michael over Jason Kidd?
Yes, I do.
Here's what's great about this game, and Tracy McGrady shows you why all of the fans are here. His own play.
Jamal Tinsley tried that same play last night in the rookie game. Inspiration for a much bigger and more physically talented Tracy McGrady. I've never seen this before.
Well, you know, it's a fast break to himself, and he was the only one to do it. Was coming. Look at him go through 4 or 5 guys and poster.
So 5 minutes gone by what has been a spectacular second quarter. It's the West by 4.
Can you hear me now?
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Are you ready for a cold one? By Jeep, makers of Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, and the all-new Jeep Liberty. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher, it's in the NBA, is it in you? And by Open, the Small Business Network, new tools for a small business economy from American Express. Back in Philadelphia, here's a portrait we would like to frame. Muhammad Ali and hometown hero Smokin' Joe Frazier sitting together at courtside. And as you guys know, these are two people who did not have a wonderful relationship for a number of years. Once again, it is Tracy McGrady with a sensational move. 9 points for McGrady. Stojakovic blows the way up. It's the West by 2, 48-46. Oh, nice pass. Paul Pierce taking that bullet pass from the Hornets. Baron Davis. Well, Michael Jordan, obviously not the most famous person in attendance here today.
Oh, no, he got a standing ovation when he walked in behind us, and everybody went over, greeted both he and Frazier. And you're right, Marv, it's good to see that time has healed some wounds.
Nowitzki, rebounded by O'Neal.
Baron Davis has opened this game up for the East, and you got Tracy McGrady out there in the groove.
McGrady off the mark on that long-range attempt. Baron Davis added to the squad when Vince Carter went down with that quad injury in the game the other night. Wally Szczerbiak of the Minnesota Timberwolves has had an outstanding year, way off on his first attempt. Here's Pierce over Nowitzki, trying from downtown.
This is that blistering pitch. Ray Allen, he just got that long and dribbled it away and shot a three.
Well, watch out, McGrady.
Look out. Here's the lob, but Baron Davis could not put it down. Stojakovic for Nash, weaves it back out to his teammate Nowitzki. Stojakovic, behind the back attempt, kept alive though by Brand. Steve Nash, the guy's always reluctant to shoot. In fact, Don Nelson telling him you got to take more shots, which he has been doing this year. Pierce for Davis in the open court, and a foul is called. Will not count. Foul committed by Davis. Offensive foul.
An offensive foul called in the All-Star game?
Well, nobody's been more spectacular in the first half than Tracy McGrady.
Night long, man. Come on. Man, switch it up, man. I'm in the post enough.
And that's exactly what he did. He went to post him up.
How sad that they didn't call the defensive 3-second rule on Dikembe. I've really been looking forward to that violation.
Infraction. That gets called later as the game gets closer, Bill.
Outstanding start for Kobe Bryant. Not able to hit from downtown. The game is tied at 48, coming up on 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Ray Allen is rejected by Tim Duncan.
Really seeing terrific defense here.
3-on-1. O'Neal lobs, and McGrady not able to handle it. That pass behind him. Meanwhile, the West has missed its last 9 shot attempts.
Well, they got into a pattern of shooting quickly from the perimeter. Then they try to pass their way out of it, and guys were out of a good shooting rhythm. So let's see if they can get it back in the final 4 minutes.
But the first-time All-Stars, Nash, Nowitzki, Szczerbiak, Peja, all these guys have a little bit of trouble adjusting to the pace.
Kobe is fouled, yes, and it counts. Foul committed by McGrady, and Bryant will go to the line. But right here, we'll go over to Jim Gray at the East squad with Coach Byron Scott. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Mark. One of those rare times where we can actually interrupt the coach while he is coaching. Byron, I know this is quite an honor for you. How do you divide up all these minutes?
Jim, that's the hardest part about being the All-Star coach, is trying to make sure you got enough minutes for everybody. That's why I keep asking my assistants, where do we stand as far as minutes played? I want to give every one of these guys an equal opportunity to go out there and showcase their talents.
What is going on out here with Tracy McGrady? This has been an incredible performance.
Tracy's an unbelievable basketball player. He's got great talent, and he's just going out there and just having fun right now, just showing what he can do.
Byron, you won 3 world championships playing with the Lakers, but you never were able to make an All-Star team. You played with Kareem, Magic, Worthy, Cooper, and so forth. Does this make up for some of that disappointment?
Well, I was never really disappointed because, you know, you're playing with a great team. Sometimes you got to sacrifice individual achievements for the betterment of the team. So this was never really a disappointment. But this does make up for a lot of the things, a lot of the times where I really thought that I had a chance to make the All-Star team.
Nets have really played well this year. You're on top. You've turned that team around. Jason Kidd has been nothing short of phenomenal. What do you look forward here in the second half of the season, and are the Nets ready to compete for a championship?
Well, we're ready. We really feel that we got the type of team right now that's able and willing to compete. So, you know, right now we're just going to continue to try to get better as a team each and every month. That's our goal. And when the playoffs start, we'll see what happens.
Hiram, good luck. Thank you. You can go back to start screaming at the players.
All right, thank you, Jim.
Mark, back to you. All right, Jim. Tracy McGrady now has 11 points. Byron Scott telling us the other day it will be a thrill coaching Michael Jordan. And for one day he can say, Mike, sit down. The West extends its lead as Wally Szczerbiak has begun to find the range. That's 2 in a row. The West now leads by 6.
But as a footnote to the Nets' success this season, talking to Jason Kidd, he gives a lot of credit to Kenyon Martin, who has given them a physical, terrorizing presence inside.
Tim Duncan trying to put on his own show, but the story of the second quarter really has been Tracy McGrady. McGrady brought the East back. He's keeping them close, and he's put his mark on this ball game.
Nice job swinging the ball to Steve Nash, who hits from downtown. The West now up by 9 off an 11-2 run since Kobe Bryant made his return. Here's Jermaine O'Neal backing his way on Dirk Nowitzki, and a foul is called. Foul committed by Nowitzki. Timeout taken. 2:29 remaining in this first half.
Hello, everybody. Ahmad Rashad back in Philadelphia. Coming up on Verizon Wireless at the half, Elton John will perform live here in the arena, and we'll have the latest from the Winter Olympics. Let's get a quick thought from Jason, Pat, and Mike on the first half.
Well, Martin, I want to see them put Chris Webber back in. I want him to click them shoes together, see if he can end up in Kansas.
Ahmad, last year, Allen Iverson won the MVP of the All-Star game in his hometown. This year, guess whose hometown it is? Kobe. He's at 15 points the first half.
Well, for the NBA fans, Michael Jordan, Gary Payton, Alonzo Mourning, we've seen them have their runs. Now we're seeing the young stars that are going to carry the NBA for the next 10 to 15 years. The McGrady's and Kobe Bryant's, Nowitzki's, Stojakovic. It's a great night for the young players.
It's fun. All right, I don't know about you. There you have it, a little preview of what's coming up on the Verizon Wireless at the half, but I agree with Jason. You know what? Chris Webber, double trouble. Either blind you with his quickness or his shoes. Mark?
All right, thank you, Ahmad.
I think the best players have been Kobe and Tracy.
Well, McGrady 11 points in 11 minutes of play. Bryant with 15 points in 14 minutes of play, along with 2 assists.
This is the first time Jermaine O'Neal has played basketball since a week ago at Washington, where he sprained his ankle. That left ankle that's troubled him throughout his career. They got a big game Tuesday night, Utah at Indiana. Playoff implications for both squads.
West up by 8. Szczerbiak for 3. Yes. Wally Szczerbiak with 8 points. That's his second from downtown. Wally has come on strong in this his third NBA season, averaging 19 points. Made major strides. Allen Iverson. That's his second field goal. Slow start for Iverson. The West now leads by 9.
Well, the quality of this game is so good. I mean, the guys are playing such a high level and still putting on a terrific show and shooting the ball extremely well.
And Kobe continues his onslaught. 17 points for Bryant. He's the high man. 64-53. West with the lead. Baron Davis looking to get the step. Bryant stay in front of him. And Dikembe Mutombo did not expect that pass.
That was a pass.
All right, let's get back to Jim.
All right, Mark, thank you very much with Tracy McGrady. Tracy, I know you guys are down 11, but what is going on with you out here? You put on quite a display.
Last year in this game, I was a little nervous. This year, I definitely...
Nervous, really?
Yeah, I was a little nervous. First All-Star game. Best players in the world participating on the court at the same time. So, yeah, I was a little nervous, but this time, you know, it just felt real relaxed out on the court and had some chances to showcase my skills and my creation with dunks.
Is that the point of the All-Star game, to try and showcase, or is it the camaraderie with the guys? What exactly do you try to accomplish here?
Well, you try to win, number one, and you know, the fans come out to see the show, you know, so they definitely don't want to see things like that. They don't want to see everybody doing layups or shooting jumpers. They want to see the fancy passes and the nice dunks, and that's what we're here to do for them.
All right, Tracy, we look forward to seeing you in the second half.
All right, thank you.
Marv? All right, Tracy certainly showcasing his skills. Davis not able to hit from downtown, but Tungo try to keep it alive. But the ball back to the West with 40 seconds left in the half.
Jason Williams was talking about where's Chris Webber? Where's Kevin Garnett? We haven't seen a glimpse of him since his spectacular opening.
Nowitzki coming up short. Nash passing on the shot to reset. Serbiak checking the clock.
Oh, nice
pass from Duncan. Bryant is able to hit. Kobe Bryant with 21 points, and the West leading 70-53.
When McGrady was in the game, they got it even, and then Kobe Bryant came back and has been impressive here in the second quarter as the East holds for the final shot.
All right, Davis spinning his way and is able to hit, so the West now leads by the score of 70-55. Bryant from Nash as they get down in a hurry, and the East did not get back. 1 and 6/10 seconds to go. Here's Nash from backcourt. Remember, Jason Kidd hit from center court last season in Washington. So at the half, the West going on a run, leading the East at halftime 72-55. Let's go to Jim with Kobe Bryant.
As Kobe catches his breath, 19 points here, Kobe. Quite a homecoming so far for you.
It's been fun playing and getting out here with the guys. It's so much fun.
What's your mindset going into this thing? I mean, you've seen other guys want to win the MVP. Is that something that was on your mind coming into this?
No, I just want to come out and just play. You know, it's I hate having days off and having times off because I love playing so much, and being out there on the court is just so much fun.
When you came out tonight, you had the serious mode on. You compete every day, every game. Is that what's going on with this game, or do you think that there's a little bit more of a laid-back attitude?
It's definitely competitive, and although in the first half it's a little bit more laid back, in the second half we're expecting intensity to pick up a little bit more because guys want to win.
You got a number for the final? Your total?
No, I don't know.
All right, Kobe, thank you. Good luck in the second half. Marv?
All right, thanks, Jim. Actually, 23 points in the first half for Kobe, one shy of the All-Star record held by Glenn Rice. He had 24.97. Coming up on Verizon Wireless at the half, a very special All-Star musical performance by Elton John. Plus, we'll bring you up to date on the 2002 Olympic Winter Games in Salt Lake City. It's all coming up right after these messages. Stay tuned for Verizon Wireless at the half.
This is Verizon Wireless at the half. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Welcome back to the First Union Center and the Verizon Wireless at the half. The West All-Stars lead the East 72-55. Now for our halftime entertainment, here's the British All-Star.
Wait. It used to be the man. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Elton John.
Sir Elton John performing at NBA All-Star 2002. We'll have an Olympic update from Salt Lake City in just a moment. You're watching Verizon Wireless at the half.
Life takes you in different directions.
Good.
That's why Verizon Wireless introduces America.
This is Verizon Wireless at the half. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Coming up after the All-Star Game, our coverage of the 19th Olympic Winter Games continues with our primetime show. For a look ahead, we go to Salt Lake City.
Immediately following the All-Star Game, it's the All-Stars of Winter Sports. On tap, alpine skiing's biggest event, the men's downhill. Stefan Eberharter leads the awesome Austrians out for an early stake to their slope supremacy. Home hopes fall to World Super G champion, Californian Darren Rawls. And in speed skating, Miami Ice Jennifer Rodriguez makes her Salt Lake debut among the challengers to the favored German Annie Friesinger in the women's 3000. Also, to the finals of the women's half-pipe, America brings a dynamic duo on the rise, 18-year-old Kelly Clark and Nagano bronze medalist Shannon Dunn. And in Park City, the swiftest sport on the winter program, men's luge, and the Bavarian marble Georg Hockel trying to become the first Winter Olympian ever to win the same event 4 times. Nearby, they'll literally be flying for the final round of ski jumping's K90 individual event. A showdown brews as the reigning world champion Poland's Adam Małysz confronts German juggernaut Sven Hannawald. Plus, a live 3-way interview with ladies figure skating favorite Michelle Kwan and the 2 teams who seek her throne. Sarah Hughes of Long Island and Californian Sasha Cohen, who's already dialed up an Olympic memory. A high-speed, high-flying, high-profile lineup from picturesque Salt Lake City, an idyllic backdrop for the wonders of winter sports.
And it looks like it's going to be a big night out there in Salt Lake City, and we will go there right after the game. It is halftime in Philadelphia, where the Eastern Conference All-Stars trail the Western Conference All-Stars 72-55. We'll send it back to Marv, Bill, and Snapper for the second half right after these messages from your local station.
The First Union Center in Philadelphia, where hometown product Kobe Bryant out of Lower Merion, just outside of Philadelphia, has been able to light it up. 23 points, 9 for 16 from the field. No question, he has been the show in the first half.
Oh, you got your legs, huh? The elevator on that baseline. I didn't look like you was going to dunk that one. That's as pretty as it get right there, man. Man, 7 feet, too. Woo! Hey! And one. Wow. Way to not hit the backboard. All right, okay. I'm going to send you left. I'm going to send you right to Tim ass. See you.
Well, Kobe Bryant with 23 points in the first half, talking things over with Magic Johnson, one shy of the all-time All-Star record we mentioned earlier, Glenn Rice at 24 in the game in Cleveland, 97. And guys, the all-time All-Star record held by Wilt Chamberlain, 42 points back in 1962. The game was played in St. Louis. Wilt was playing for the Philadelphia Warriors.
Always a good place to go for advice, Magic Johnson, the guy that made this what it is. But what's impressed me, besides the great camaraderie, is the seriousness of the competition. They came out, it was very fierce. They are focused in. I think that's a product of Michael Jordan's return to the game.
No question, Steve. The guys came out looking for each other. That changed somewhat, though, in the second quarter.
It did, but let's remember this. Everybody was saying in that second quarter when McGrady came alive, too early for MVP. We already know who the MVP is. Kobe Bryant.
At halftime, it's the West by 17. Last year, the East came back from a 21-point deficit. Second half coming up in a moment. If we head to the start of the second half, the East is down by 17 points. But from an individual point of view, the most dynamic play has been supplied by the Orlando Magic's Tracy McGrady.
Now, McGrady, as he said in his own thoughts, was nervous last year, but he came out with some spectacular efforts and brought the East back into the ball game at both ends of the floor. He was doing it all by himself, and they may have to let him play the entire second half to get him back in it.
For Kobe to keep it going, though, he's going to have the ball in his hands, and we have seen previous instances in All-Star Game history of freeze-outs. Remember Michael Jordan early on in his career. Shaquille O'Neal, when he first got started, they double-teamed him every time. They wouldn't let him get going.
Are you looking for a freeze-out here in the second half?
Of who? How can that be? He dribbles the ball all the time.
He took 16 shots. The rest of these guys got absolutely nothing. They're looking around saying, what about me?
Steve, we're really getting an inside look at how this man's mind works. The paranoia of Bill Walton looking for a freeze-out of Kobe in the second half.
I mean, he has been starring all over the place, and suddenly, I mean, he's even got his own mic. How can they freeze him out? Now, Jason Kidd better pick it up. You know, he said he was going to set a record.
Bill, why don't you lay out during the third quarter? We'll call you back in the fourth.
You're not talking about freezing me out here, are you, Mark? What they can do is they can all refuse to inbound the ball and make Kobe throw the ball inbounds, and then he'll never touch it again.
Back to reality. Third quarter about to get underway. Jason Kidd is back. So Kidd and Allen Iverson at the guards. Dikembe Mutombo is up front with Antoine Walker and Michael Jordan. Jordan played 11 minutes in the first half, 3 for 7 from the field, 6 points, 2 assists, and a missed dunk.
Now remember, Jason Kidd wanted to set the half record for assists, and they didn't make any shots for him. You know, you don't get assists when they miss shots, and it's going to be interesting to see whether this group makes shots for Jason Kidd and whether it gets guys in a position to finish.
Foul is called on Bryant. That's his second.
Jason Kidd only played 8 minutes, did not score, and had 2 assists. Stunning.
Iverson. And the foul is called on Francis.
And he's the only guy that hasn't scored in the game. Steve Francis has not made a field goal, and I hope his teammates remind him of it.
Steve played only 8 minutes, 0 for 2 from the field in the first half. Iverson with the step. Jordan rebounded by Francis to set the West squad. Francis and Bryant at the guards with Duncan, Weber, and Garnett on the front line.
This is an extremely difficult matchup for Michael Jordan against Kevin Garnett.
Antoine Walker leads the break. Antoine Walker went in too deep and then decided to throw back. Here's Iverson. And back comes Duncan of San Antonio.
Nobody has said anything about Duncan's ability to handle the ball, but that was a terrific pass.
He's been doing that all game. He's been getting the defensive plays to the stop and then power dribbling it out.
The West up by 19. Jordan with the step. Able to beat Garnett off the dribble, could not convert. Kobe able to save it. And now one-on-one, Kobe Bryant working against Jason Kidd, and they're talking to each other. Here is Kobe able to beat Kidd off the dribble.
Jason Kidd is one of the premier defensive guards in all of basketball. Kobe's making him look like a 6th grader.
And what happened? Crowd booing the Eastern Conference squad. Iverson draws the fouls on Steve Francis.
You know, this is the evolution of big men and how they can do so many things with the basketball. Duncan leading the break, and is that Bob McAdoo on the finish?
No, that's Kevin Garnett. But these guys could all learn a thing from guys like Bob McAdoo and Dave Cowens and Wes Unseld, guys who always had to play against the bigger, more powerful Jabbars, Chamberlains.
A reminder coming up next, the most important event in alpine skiing, the men's Olympic downhill on one of the toughest and most terrifying courses in Olympic history. And former roller skater, now speed skater. They call her Miami Ice. Florida's Jennifer Rodriguez will take her marks in the women's 3,000. The Winter Olympics coming up next right here on NBC, except on the West Coast. Francis kicks it out to Duncan. Oh, loves that back shot. Tim Duncan going glass, and the West now leads 78-56.
Do you think it's tougher to do that downhill or tougher to guard Kobe Bryant tonight?
Antoine Walker for three.
And I think at the East had looked up at the scoreboard and realized that they're going to have a tough way to go, or this is another setup that we don't know anything about.
Iverson off the skip dribble, trying to set it up to Mutombo. Bryant and Kidd chasing down, and Jess Kersey blows the whistle and says knocked out of bounds, and last touch by the East. Let's see. Now he changed his mind.
He's going to get the ball.
First he said West, now East, and it will be West ball.
Jason Kidd trying to talk him into it. He was pressuring Bryant all the way down the sideline, but the ball last went off him. These officials haven't had a lot of work to do today.
Weber off the gamble by Jordan sets it up for Duncan.
Steve, I think this would have been a perfect game for Mark Cuban to ref.
He's at the Dairy Queen. They don't want him here.
The West 80 and the East 56. Here's Kidd. Yes. At the foot on the line, it's a two-pointer. Last year in Washington, the East able to come from behind. They were down by as many as 21. Went off that late run to get back into it. The East Bryant for three. Garnett set it up for Weber. And then Iverson able to hustle it down.
Part of the East last year went really small. They had four tiny guys. Iverson, Stephon Marbury. Oh, Jason Kidd just playing the free safety in the back line.
Here's Kidd open for three.
Bryant wide open, wide open.
Duncan's baseball pass picked off by Kidd. Jordan. And he's hit on the reach-in by Weber.
Maybe those two defensive plays will bring Jason Kidd into this game.
Well, maybe it was the freeze-out that we were looking for, because Bryant was wide open on the other side, and he looked to us and threw it right into the hands of Jason Kidd. I'm trying to help you, but I don't think it's going to happen, Bill.
Mutombo able to score on the putback. Dikembe has 6 points. It's a 20-point lead for the West. 4 minutes gone by in the third. Here is Steve Francis. Oh, Bryant able to put it down. Michael Jordan thought it would deflect over the backboard.
Well, Michael played when the rule was different. Remember, he's been out for 3 years, and they changed that rule. It has to go over the middle of the backboard.
Iverson, Mutombo. Yes, Jordan was headed back down court.
He saw it go over, and he said, that's a violation, waiting for the ref to blow the whistle. It was the right non-call by the referee.
Walker with Weber back. Antoine Walker stopped by Chris Weber and then able to lay it home.
And Antoine Walker is really improved as the leader of the Boston Celtics. He's really happy to be in Boston right now. And the Celtics are on their way back.
But the biggest improvement has been the coaching change there.
Jim O'Brien taking over from Rick Pitino last season. Things began to turn last year.
And that's really the only change that they've made.
Pretty good-looking rookie in Joe Johnson. Eric Williams has played well. Kenny Anderson hurt most of last year. A couple of other factors. I know you've been following the Clippers very closely. May not be looking at the East as closely.
That's not true. The Celtics are back. They're for real. Antoine Walker's in shape, and Paul Pierce is a legitimate star.
Kidd tried to hold back Kobe. Could not get the call. And last touch by the East.
Now, Kobe Bryant really accelerated that time to get to the rim. He just couldn't quite finish. But watch the play as it goes over, and everybody stops except Bryant.
6.5 remaining in the third quarter. And the East up by 18 points. Garnett with the shovel pass to Duncan. Again, Duncan looking for a teammate. Francis did not have the shot. Weber for three.
Again, this Jordan-Garnett matchup is so one-sided. And now as the Wizards are going to have to play a lot of Western Conference East with the bigger small forwards, that could be telltale down the stretch for Washington.
Antoine Walker called for the foul, and Chris Weber to the free throw line. Chris Weber missed the first 20 games of the season with a sprained left ankle. The Kings went 15-5 over that stretch, but since his return, the Kings have won 19 of the last 23. Coming up on TBS this Tuesday, New York Knicks against Tracy McGrady and the Orlando Magic, and then Michael Jordan and the Wizards against the Los Angeles Lakers. That is Tuesday night on TBS. Kickball is called.
The two best offensive teams in the league in the first half have been Sacramento and New Jersey. Now, shoes like that I haven't seen since you in the hotel this afternoon, Marv.
Well, Chris saw me, liked him, he figured to give it a shot.
But the common thread on those offensive juggernauts, Sacramento, New Jersey, is Pete Carrill, the guy who brought that motion offense. Then Byron Scott took it to New Jersey because he was the assistant out there in Sacramento.
Eddie Jordan, his assistant coach, who was also out in Sacramento, also instrumental. Absolutely. Offense. Fast Eddie Jordan. Tracy McGrady back on the floor, gets right into it. He now has 13 points, and the West with a 16-point lead. So the East chipping away with just under 6 remaining in the third quarter.
Nice pass.
Duncan. Another offensive board by the West.
He's just jumping over Jordan Garnett is.
And Tim Duncan with 10 points.
Well, remember when we talked about the size and the mobility of the West front line, we're seeing it evident in what they can do in keeping the ball alive.
Michael Jordan with his fourth field goal, 8 points for Michael.
And the only way Michael can get it back is at the offensive end, but he's been very reluctant on the attack.
Garnett and Jordan into it now, but Garnett is going to win that battle just based on his size alone.
Garnett has 10 points. Here's McGrady for three. Way off, got glass. And back comes Bryant.
He was trying that lob to himself again.
Here's the only guy that hasn't scored. Make up your mind. If that migraine is causing you that much trouble, tell him to give you a layup.
Steve with some medical advice for Steve Francis. Migraines have been a problem for Steve Francis throughout the season. Iverson wanted to do it off the dribble against Weber, then changed his mind. Mutombo lost it.
Hurry up, Steve, hurry up!
No. Francis with the lob intended for Weber, and Bryant is right there. So Kobe now has 29. Now that's 22 shots for Bryant. 12 for 22, the all-star game record for shot attempts. We're tracking this. Rick Barry took 27 in 1967. I think Kobe is right on schedule.
Well, that's a great pass, inbound pass from Jordan to McGrady, and then it's the size and the attitude of Garnett against Jordan as the West
is brought to you by the Honda Accord. It's advanced. It's roomy. It's the Accord. By Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time. By Brand Jordan. And by Mountain Dew. Take it up a notch. No, make that 2.
Jim Gray back in Philadelphia at the All-Star Game. We're very pleased to be joined by the Commissioner of the National Basketball Association, David Stern. Believe it or not, now celebrating his 18th year as Commissioner. Commissioner, when you look down on the floor and you see number 23 out there, it's a deja vu.
It's better than that. It's the new Michael. It's a little bit different, but he's making his teammates great, and you saw the hand he got from the crowd. It's great to have him back.
David, what are your thoughts on the globalization of this game, particularly now that we have 5 international players playing in the All-Star Game?
As I said yesterday, we have to begin developing an on-the-ground strategy for outside the United States. No question about it. This game is being shown in 210 countries and 41 different languages. There's a great international future for our players.
Is there a consideration of Mexico and Europe or maybe Asia putting a team in there that would play in a regular season?
Jim, if we put one team in Europe, you might as well put a whole division.
Is that a thought?
That is a thought. It may take us a while, but it's a thought.
The way that Shaquille O'Neal is defended changing subjects, are you concerned with the pounding he takes and now the way he responded?
Well, we would like him not to take an unfair pounding, and we would like him not to respond the way he responds. But I think it's heightened our sensitivity to the subject, and I think you'll see a quiescent second half of the season.
David, I know that you like all of your players, and you're particularly fond of the game. You're a big fan as well as the commissioner. Kobe Bryant said he likes watching Peja Stojakovic. Is there a guy out here that you kind of focus on?
Actually, I've been looking at Stojakovic and Turkoglu this year, watching these guys. They love to shoot that ball. It's fun to watch, but I love them all. I'm a fan of this game.
David, thank you very much. Congratulations on a great All-Star weekend.
Thanks for having me.
Mark? All right, thanks, Jim. And the commissioner telling us that this is the 27th All-Star game that he has been. David Stern going back to the blue seats as Duncan is able to hit again. The blue seats up in the gallery of the old Madison Square Garden. Tim Duncan, 14 points, 11 rebounds. McGrady for 3, yes. So the West now leads 92-75 with 2.5 remaining in the third.
The East offense has come alive since they've into the lineup, but they're unable to stop any penetration to the hoop. They've booing Kobe Bryant.
I believe they're counting shots as Chris Webber is able to hit Kobe, firing from all angles. 12 for 22. He's the high man with 29. And you know, there's some residue from the NBA Finals and the rivalry that has developed between the Lakers and the Sixers, where Kobe was booed here in Philadelphia during the Finals, despite the fact that he's a hometown guy.
They booed Derek Fisher in the 3-on-3 competition last night.
That's Philadelphia freedom.
To go. NBA Commissioner David Stern talking with Jim Gray mentioned that one of his favorites here tonight, Peja Stojakovic, one of 5 international players participating in tonight's All-Star Classic, including Dikembe Mutombo from the Congo, Tim Duncan from St. Croix and the Virgin Islands, Steve Nash, the first ever Canadian to make the All-Star team, Dirk Nowitzki out of Germany, and Peja Stojakovic from the former Yugoslavia. Dirk Nowitzki was telling us the other day that as a kid in Germany, he would watch the All-Star game and the finals every year, dreaming that someday he would be part of it. And as David Stern said, 210 countries, 41 languages around the world, as Garnett is able to hit, getting the telecast of the All-Star game, 41 languages plus 2 dialects of Bill Walton pointed out. Brady not able to hit from downtown.
I think Stojakovic has got the best stroke and is the best shooter in today's game.
And Kobe way off, so Bryant with his 23rd shot. Look out, Rick Barry. That record is going bye-bye.
Well, Rick should have shot all the time. That's how good he was.
A minute 20 remaining in this third quarter. Here's Kobe, and he draws the foul.
You know, the best thing about Kobe Bryant, he doesn't respond to the crowd. He responds to the challenge out there on the floor. He's going to be the MVP.
He's outworking these guys, Dan. He is playing at a level that nobody else can keep pace with.
And if you watch this ball game while Garnett and George are out there, there is a little attitude going on between the two of them. And remember when we talked to Garnett and he said, look, I don't care who you are. If you stepped out there on the floor, I'm coming at you. And they have been going at each other here in this third quarter.
And they, being Kobe and Michael Jordan, they play each other at Staples Center on Tuesday night.
That's the game that will be seen on TBS on Tuesday. The West with a 98-75 lead as we approach 1 minute remaining in this third quarter. Marv Albert, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones from First Union Center in Philadelphia. That pass intended for Duncan. Let's check in with Jim Gray.
Right, thank you very much, Marv. Here with Allen Iverson. Allen, your team trailing now by 23. You're going to be able to mount a comeback here in this fourth quarter?
We're going to try. You know, we're never going to give up. We just got to get some rebounds, get some stops.
What's the problem out here?
Like I said, rebounding and getting stops. You know, we're not getting back on defense. They're getting easy baskets after we miss shots. So we just got to concentrate on getting back on defense, rebounding the ball.
Allen, sitting across the way is a man who used to sit on this bench every night back in the Spectrum. There's a statue outside of Julius Erving. What made you decide to want to wear his number that hangs in the rafters?
Man, just to honor him. You know, it's a tribute to him. You know, he got his fame here in Philadelphia, and he means everything to Philadelphia. He still does, and he means a lot to me because I'm trying to carry that torch. It was just an honor for me to do it. I'm glad he let me do it.
If you get into another All-Star game, is the thought maybe number 13 will?
Yeah, no doubt. Next year.
All right, Allen. We look forward to seeing you in the fourth quarter.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, Mark, back to you.
Thank you, Jim. 98-77. West with the lead as Bryant looks to put a move on Allen.
They caught Dr. J eating food. I mean, that's some bad timing right there.
Payton has a 3-on-1. Garnett from Payton.
Gary Payton, who has had an attitude transplant, is come out and over the last few years has really become an all-star distributor, setting everybody else up like that time magnificently with Garnett.
When you say he's had an attitude transplant, what do you mean? He's a different guy?
All right, here's Payton on the rebound. Bill refusing to answer the question as Payton takes the distance as time runs out in this third quarter.
I thought we had to go to another promo.
Kevin Garnett has had a spectacular third quarter in his own right, and when you get a guy like Payton that can set you up that way, all you have to do is guide it in.
Kobe Bryant leading the way, though, with 31. Tracy McGrady with 20 points, including the last 7 for the East. Garnett from another angle. And we'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
Of our audience. Any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other dissemination or use of this telecast, or of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Okay, we're running. We running. Yeah, you dog. You trail.
Jason Kidd with a verbal taunt at Michael Jordan.
That's unbelievable.
We run, you jog, he says to Jordan.
I think that's a slight.
No, but Jordan also said, I'll rebound. So that put him in that jog position. Well, they're all sitting down right now, down big.
But last year it was Dikembe Mutombo who did all the rebounding, got the East running, got Marbury and Iverson going in transition, and Ray Allen. It was a thing of beauty down the stretch.
Peja Stojakovic is back for the West up front with Elton Brandon, Kevin Garnett, Gary Payton, Kobe Bryant on the backcourt off the steal. Paul Pierce got a piece of it. Pierce set up beautifully by McGrady. Now remember a year ago in the All-Star game in Washington when the East came from behind, they outscored the West in the fourth quarter 41-21 to pull it out 111-110. Kobe's been off in the second half. Here comes Pierce beating Stojakovic. So the West lead is now 100-81.
And that brought Don Nelson up off the bench for the first time, and he's coming with Steve Nash. He does not like what he sees.
Payton had the baseline closed. Shot clock down to 5. Once again, Kobe hearing the moves. Garnett draws the double, forces And it's a 24-second violation. The ball did not hit the rim.
They're coming alive with the small ball lineup here. Paul Pierce out in transition. He plays a lot of forward, but he's got the guard skills.
Paul Pierce handling the ball. Pierce and Allen now at the guards. McGrady, Mourning, and Abdul Rahim up front. Here's McGrady getting the step on Stojakovic and then beats Brand to draw the foul.
So you're saying in another one of those statements that only you can say, the East has the West right where they want them.
Well, if you go by history, if you go by last year's game, it was the big setup. And then they come storming back.
You're saying last year's game has a bearing on this year's game?
Oh, absolutely. These guys have long memories.
That's right. Sense of history. All right, here's Tracy McGrady, who has had an excellent game. That's point number 21. Next Sunday, the world's most significant auto race, the Daytona 500, coming to NBC. That'll be live 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. on the West Coast, right here on NBC. It's now a 17-point lead for the West with a minute and a half gone by in the fourth. So Payton and Nash now in the backcourt. Nowitzki has come on. He's up front with Brand and Stojakovic. Gary Payton can't hit the scoop. Brand keeps it alive. Nowitzki on a quick release way off.
Well, the only other guy that can be MVP in this game has the ball right now, and if he brings them back, that will be the story. McGrady having an impact here in the fourth.
I think rotation and player combination. I think the coaches are going to have a huge impact.
Here's Pierce for three. And the ball lands in the hands of Tracy McGrady, so it's down to a 15-point deficit.
Alonzo Mourning taking over for Dikembe Mutombo, just pounding that glass, keeping it alive for McGrady.
Stojakovic coming up short. Kept alive, though, by Nowitzki.
They got 4 first-year All-Stars for the West.
Here's Stojakovic for three. But suddenly the West has gone cold. Mourning ahead of the field. Mourning puts it down. It's down to a 13-point lead. A 10-0 run by the East.
Gary Payton's got to settle him down here.
Now, Nelson is dying to call a timeout, but you don't call timeouts in All-Star games, and Pierce rebounds the ball, and the crowd is in it now.
Find McGrady. He's the hot hand.
Pierce puts the spin on Payton, and a foul is called. The West has led by as many as 24. They were up by the count of 80 to 56.
Alonzo Mourning not only getting it done on the backboards, but out in transition as well.
You know, I'm worried already, Marv, because they gave an all-star ballot for voting.
Ray Allen for three. 13 unanswered by the East, and it's a 10-point game.
They gave an all-star ballot vote to Bill Walton, and
That's dangerous.
It is.
Payton is able to end the run as he hits from beyond that three-point line. The West 103 and the East 90.
I'm open to suggestions.
You already waffled 2 times.
Allen off the pick, shoots the rainbow and hits it. Ray Allen, one of the great pure shooters in the game, has caught fires at 2 from downtown. Stojakovic for 3. And the West now leads 106 to 93 with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the fourth. Here's right back from downtown. I thought we had the three-point shootout last night.
But, you know, Ray Allen was the defending champion and had to shoot last and was cold and got eliminated.
Oh, Nowitzki rejected by Mourning.
Tracy's calling for the lob.
Allen for 3. And Brand able to reach for that rebound. Payton stopped by Pierce. Now Payton for 3. Yes.
This has been a terrific game in all aspects. Intensity, competitive greatness, skill, demonstration, shooting, and Byron Scott needs to take a breath.
I think guys are huffing and puffing here. 7:40 remaining in the fourth. A 13-0 run by the East to get back into it.
And Ray Allen is a terrific shooter under any circumstances, but when he dials in, he can make them from deep and spectacular. And Ray Allen led a three-point barrage that led to Payton finally breaking that run.
They're all getting involved. Stojakovic, Gary Payton, Alonzo Mourning running the floor.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Lexus and the all-new ES300, a new world of luxury. By Budweiser with a crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you. By McDonald's, we love to see you smile. And by Sprite, obey your thirst. Welcome back to Philadelphia. As we take a look at the head coach of the Western squad, Don Nelson, who's made it back after battling prostate cancer. He's also had a bit more on his mind as of late. His wife, Joy, recovering from breast cancer surgery. And we're told the recovery is going well. Let's check in with Jim, along with Don and Joy.
All right, thank you very much, Mark. First of all, Don, is this the first time that your wife has ever joined you on the bench?
Yeah, what should we do, honey?
Got any advice for him?
Put Steve and Dirk in more.
A true part of it. Joy, everybody very happy to hear that your surgery went well. What's the prognosis?
It's excellent. We caught it early on a routine mammogram. I've had a lumpectomy. I'm going for radiation next week, and I'm doing just great.
Don, you said that this game here today in the All-Star game, the experience is so much more important and special to you because Joy is feeling well and is able to be here with you.
Well, listen, you know, she could have had a big problem and not been able to come, but we took care of it. Thank God that she had early detection. And we cured the problem and now a little radiation. And she's here with me today, and I'm just so happy.
I guess she must have told you that in the timeout because Dirk and Steve are in. Do you regularly give Don some advice?
Never.
Does she? You told me before the game she does.
No, she stays away from basketball, but a lot of advice on other things.
Like fashion?
Yeah, like fashion. Yeah, I need help.
She's come a long way. Don, thank you for letting us intrude. Joy, we're happy you're feeling much better.
Thank you. This is fun. I've never been on the bench before.
Well, if she'll let you, I don't know. Will you let her stay the rest of the game?
She can stay right here. You got it right.
Call it timeout. Just shake him up. Marv?
All right, Jim. Well, with that extensive Dallas Maverick coaching staff under normal occasions, you'd never even notice that Joy is on the bench.
Well, let's not forget that Don and Joy were married on the basketball court at a Golden State Warriors game years ago.
Allen able to break up that lead pass as we come up on 6 minutes remaining in the fourth. The West settling down. They lead 114-98. Paul Pierce way off and rebounded by Dirk Nowitzki of the Mavs. Elton Brand able to beat everybody down court. And the West with a 116-98 advantage.
Well, they've reestablished control, the West has, and they haven't come back with Kobe Bryant.
This is a weekend in which there's a lot of demand on the players, and you can tell when they're running out of gas. And after that last timeout, the guys on the East were really flattened out.
Paul Pierce of the Boston Celtics, who played a role in that comeback by the East. Jermaine O'Neal of the Indiana Pacers is back, as is the Hornets' Baron Davis. Davis and Allen now at the guards. O'Neal with Pierce and Abdul Rahim up front. Here's Pierce for 3. Rebounded by Brand. Steve Nash kicks it out. Peja Stojakovic with all night to take that shot.
Deplorable transition defense. Coach Byron Scott needs to do something because it's not happening right now for the East, and they're going to call a timeout and talk this one over.
And guys, these two teams have combined for 17 three-pointers. The All-Star game record is 21. That was set back in 1997 in Cleveland.
He'll just let you take over the game. Don't talk me to death. Don't talk me to death.
Michael Jordan saying, we don't want you to just take over the game. Kobe with 25 shots to this point.
Well, he took over the game. There's no question that he is the star of stars today, and maybe that tells us why he was so aggressive in that third quarter when we thought there'd be a freeze-out.
23 years old, a 4-time All-Star, to be able to come to his hometown and put on this kind of show as the world champion, with all the focus being on Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson.
And Kobe with 31 points to lead the way. Just under 5 remaining in the fourth. Let's go over to Jim with Kobe.
Marv. I'm sitting over here with Kobe. Kobe, you have 31 points. You are from Philadelphia. I find it unbelievable that the fans are booing you here. Does that hurt your feelings?
Yeah, my feelings are hurt, man. I mean, I'm just out there trying to play and have a good time, and yeah, my feelings are hurt being from Philadelphia.
What do you think the reason is? Is it simply because you're a Laker? What can you pinpoint, if anything? Your dad played here. You had your number retired at Lower Merion. They've said here that they would boo Santa Claus, but it seems to be a little ridiculous. Can you pinpoint why?
No, I don't know, but all I can do is just go out there and continue to play and have a good time and support the city, in which I started my basketball career.
Let's not have a downer here, however. You've played a wonderful game. You've taken 25 shots. Let's look forward to the second half of the season. Lakers, without Shaq the next 4 games, you guys have struggled a bit after that 16-1 start. You're 17-12. Are you guys counting on the fact that you're going to be able to turn it on and off when the big fella comes back?
Yeah, what we're going to try to do is just continue to improve on a daily basis, continue to execute. And we have 4 games coming out without Shaquille, and hopefully we can win a couple of games to get him back and get the flow going.
You're 5-4 without him, 1 game over 500. Are you concerned that this could be a chronic problem with the big guy and that this is going to go on for the rest of the season?
No, well, he's told me he can play through that pain. He's going to be in pain for the remainder of the season. Hopefully, just having this time off can subside it somewhat, but I'm not concerned with it too much.
Final thought, are you guys as hungry, the Laker team, as you were after you won the first and second championship?
Definitely. We're just learning.
Kobe, sensational performance today. We might see you in a few minutes.
I hope so.
All right, Kobe. Marv, back to you.
All right, Jim Gray thoroughly depressing Kobe Bryant in that interview. It's a combination of the fact that he is a Laker. They played the 76ers in the finals as to why they've been booing Kobe Bryant. And the fact this crowd feels he has taken too many shots. Gary Payton with a tremendous second half. He now has 18 points in all.
I don't think Kobe has forced it at all. I think he's got it all in the rhythm. But let's go back to the hungry part. Remember what Akeem Olajuwon's statement was during their championship runs in Houston. Hungry but humble, and that's one thing we get from Kobe Bryant. It's nice to see that young man growing up before our eyes.
Well, the East able to move within 10 points. That's as close as they were able to get. And Dirk Nowitzki now has 9. He is 4 for 10 from the field. Then Gary Payton hit a 3, and the West was able to extend that lead once again, and they're up 127 to 109 with 2:52 to go in this fourth quarter. Timeout taken. We'll be back in Philadelphia in a moment. All-Star game, a little bit of everything tonight in our Winter Olympics coverage. Most important event in alpine skiing, the men's Olympic downhill, and former roller skater Miami Ice Jennifer Rodriguez, a Floridian, will take her marks in the women's 3,000 plus the women's snowboarding half-pipe gold medal final and much more. Winter Olympics coming up next following this 51st NBA All-Star game. That'll be everywhere except on the West Coast.
That downhill, that's what you live for in winter sports. Who's got it in terms of going down that hill, putting all caution to the wind, saying, I'm going for the championship now.
We're down to 2 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The West with a 127-109 lead. These two teams have combined for 21 three-pointers. That ties the All-Star game record. The West have hit 13. That is a new All-Star game record, and they've attempted 30 three-pointers. Ray Allen from Baron Davis, and 33-point attempts is a new All-Star game mark.
They put Steve Francis in the game because he is the only West star not to score. And they're going to make an effort to get him on the scoreboard right now.
Wayne O'Neal called for the foul. Steve Francis 0 for 4 from the field. He's played only 16 minutes.
But it's so difficult for the first-year players. Now,
whoa! There you go.
I think Shaq should go for the consistent bank shot. I think that would help his touch a little bit at the free throw line.
You know, they have an extra backboard in the arena. That migraine has really got to him. But you cannot tell Shaq to go for the glass. You don't have enough glass.
O'Neal played by Brand.
I think it would help his touch, Steve.
He's got no touch.
Abdul Rahim with a slick baseline move. So Sharif with 9 points.
When your technique is as flawed as Shaq's is, you can't be talking about touch. You got to improve his technique.
I'm happy for Sharif. Finally gets it to this level.
Davis for 3. And Pierce able to handle that rebound. Here's Allen setting for 3. Yes. Ray Allen. And that breaks an all-star game record. 22 3-pointers combined here tonight.
Marv, have you noticed that when Bill is through with the conversation, he just turns his back on you and goes on to something else? Let's go to Raheem.
Or does not want to deal with certain topics, just throws it out there and then does not have an answer. Or says, I'm sorry. Broken up by Nash. Ray Allen is 3 for 10 all by himself from downtown. The West with a 128-116 lead, a minute and 15 remaining in the game.
So who should I vote for MVP?
You already voted. You voted for T-Mac. I saw you write his name down.
No. I voted for Kobe Bryant.
No,
I voted for Kobe Bryant. I want to know who you guys think I should vote for.
I think the only other contender would be Gary Payton, as Serbiak is able to hit. Payton had the excellent second half, 18 points and all 6 assists, and was on the floor when the West was able to recover.
And the way Gary has brought the Sonics back to life there, and they are serious playoff threats now.
Have I kind of influenced your vote here, or you're staying with Kobe?
I'm staying with Kobe Bryant. And he was clearly the best player in all aspects. Was willing to play the defense, was willing to outwork guys, get up and down the court, aggressively go to the hoop, and subject himself to torment by Jim Gray.
Yes. Kobe played 29 minutes, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Will fall 2 shots shy of Rick Barry's all-star game record.
I know Rick will be proud to stay in that record book.
Now to a half minute remaining in the game.
Still trying to get Francis to shoot the ball, but he just cannot come close today.
Oh, Nowitzki with the bucket. It counts, and the foul.
Let's never discount the hometown impact on the MVP in the history of the All-Star Game. When Karl Malone and John Stockton won in Utah, Tom Chambers winning in Seattle.
Hometown has been booing Kobe Bryant. They're not voting, but they have been. It's been a negative.
But this is his hometown, and he's going to win the MVP.
No, I think he deserves the I agree with you, though. I'm just throwing another name out there.
Have you seen the doctor lately?
Well, they're all standing up on the West because they know there's not going to be a comeback. They're congratulating each other right now.
19 points for Paul Pierce, and here's Francis for 3 and hits. So that is his first field goal. Down to 7 seconds. 133-120. The West wrapping it up. And that man, Kobe Bryant, with 31 points. So Kobe leading the way. Gary Payton with 18. Paul Pierce had 19. Tracy McGrady with 24. Ray Allen with 15 points. And we'll have the announcement and the presentation on tonight's All-Star Game Most Valuable Player when we come back. We'll take a break. The West with a 135-120 victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to center court and NBC's Ahmad Rashad.
All right, it is now time to make the presentation of this year's All-Star Most Valuable Player Award. And to make that presentation, here's the Commissioner of the NBA, David Stern.
Thank you, Philadelphia, for staging a spectacular All-Star week. And a great game it was. And tonight, with 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, the star of stars of the greatest players in the world was the 2002 MVP, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe, Of the best players in the world here tonight, you are the star of the star tonight. Had to make you feel good.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to come home. I know the fans are booing, but nonetheless, it feels good to come home and play in front of the home crowd, and had a chance to go back to the high school and see my family, and it's good to be here.
Well, a little different coming in here, the world champion Lakers, having beaten this team in the finals. It's a little different in here.
Yeah, it's a little different, but, home is home, and I enjoy coming back. Even though the reception isn't that warm, I still enjoy coming back.
You had a great game, Kobe. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, back to you, Marv.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Well, Kobe Bryant won an NBA title on this floor. He now wins an All-Star Game MVP trophy on this floor, although the reaction has not been friendly back in his hometown. So that will do it for us, with the West beating the East 135-120. More NBA on NBC action next Sunday, 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. The LA Lakers taking on the Portland Trail Blazers. Coming up next on NBC, except out on the West Coast, it's the 2002 Olympic Winter Games from Salt Lake City, Utah. So for Bill Walton, Steve Jones, Jim Gray, and Ahmad Rashad, I'm Marv Albert. Thanks for tuning in. You have been watching the NBA on NBC.